But I'm gonna ask you this: have you ever took the time out to understand what people been through, to understand what they've been like? I can tell you right now, no.
No, because ain't nobody try to see why.
But why be like that? If
I get it.
My point is but if nobody never did it for you, why are you doing the same thing to them?
Because it's like that in my head, just be like, that's just the world we live in.
I knew I was great,
right?
But I suffered challenges that were like, damn, why me?
So why do I give you grace? I done had to kill so many ex-versions of myself and still currently killing with some. So why should I give you grace? You're not willing to do the work.
I would have to wake up every day and still put on this mask to like, okay, I still got to be great regardless. But at the same time, internally, like, it's like, what am I doing wrong?
They say stress is a silent killer. And I'm like, I can't go out like that. Like, I need to slow down.
I don't have to do all the loud shit to survive. I know what I got to do. And I like to survive in the most quietest way because it keeps less eyes on me.
Don't let your upbringing be an excuse for why you're lacking as an adult. I get it. Like, your past does influence a lot of your characteristics and how you move and how you think as an adult, but that is not the end all be all.
Welcome to another episode of Trail Truths Podcast. Today I have a familiar face. She's been a guest on the podcast twice now. She's a successful entrepreneur, intelligent young woman, and I'm pretty sure now that I have her here in a solo episode, she will have way more to say than what you guys have already seen. So without further more introduction, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Y'all, I don't really need to introduce myself.
Here she go.
But if for you guys that's new and this is your first video watching, that's a problem. But my name is Keyona. I'm Orlando Lash Tech. And I'm here with Trey again for the third time. So I'm excited.
For sure. So you already know how I start off most of my episodes. So how are you doing mentally?
To be honest, I feel like so the last episode, I think I had said that it was in December. So I was having like a seasonal kind of thing that I feel like a lot of people go through but don't talk about. But now I do feel like because the holidays are over, we got past the whole New Year phase, and like now people are more into a routine. I had moved recently, so that was like something that was affecting my mental health as well. People don't talk about that. Like moving is
it's draining.
Yes. So now that I'm kind of like settled in a little bit, getting more in my routine, I feel way better. So I'm really actually good. How about you?
Man, I feel like it's just I'm taking it day by day. I can't complain. I'm blessed.
Right.
A lot of things have been happening, but I'm just taking it a day at a time. I can't really say I want anything. I want more, of course, but just taking it a day at a time. So just tell everybody a little bit more about yourself. I feel like most people know because of the other episodes, but since this is more of like a individual episode, just give them a little dive in what you do for your business and then who you are as a person.
So, pretty much for my business, I am a 4.5-year lash tech. So I think I make 5 years July. I started off part-time, of course, and then I transitioned into full-time January of 2023. Or 2024. So it's been 2 years full-time. Prior to that, I was dual enrolled. So I graduated from UCF early in 2024 with my bachelor's in psychology. A lot of people don't know that. But I graduated from UCF with my bachelor's in psychology when I was 20 years old. And right off rip, I had got a really good job offer working in HR. Loved the job, loved what I did. In the midst of all of that, if you follow me, y'all know I had my foot in a lot of stuff. So I was like an Airbnb host. I always did lashes in my side hustle. I was coaching. Like it was a lot that I had going on. So, and then I became a dog mom around that time too. So I was pretty much doing all of that. And then I fully I think God had put me in a season where I was moving very fast. And I remember we talked about this last episode where it's like you got to slow down sometimes because you might miss your exit. That stuck with me so bad, even still to this day. Because sometimes when you're doing so much and you're not really taking it in or like really sitting down thinking of what you have going on and processing it, sometimes I feel like I gotta remove it because you're not, it's hard to be grateful for it. Like when it's consistently coming. It's like you don't take the time to be like, you know what, God, like compare where you was at before now and just become more grateful,
Take it for granted.
Right. So I think humbly speaking, from for God point of view, he probably, like, humbled me in a way that I needed to be, where it was kinda like he slowed me down and was like, "Look at where you at." You
Mhm,
know, we always want more, but it's like sometimes you have to look and be like, "Bro, like, I'm doing a lot. I did a lot."
mhm,
So I feel like at such a young age, I had a lot going on, and I don't think I actually took the time to sit down, settle in it. Like, as soon as I graduated college I mean, high school, did 2 years at, UCF. Mind you, I graduated Valencia at the same time. I never really sat down and thought about it. First, I'm a first gen college grad, so I never soaked that in, like, I never sat down and thought about it like, "Wow." I just got right into the workforce, and I just started trying to, like, that hustle culture that, like, a lot of people put out nowadays,
mhm.
which now I feel like the older you get, the more you realize, like, it's you could burn yourself out.
For sure, and, I want you to, 'cause like you said, you young, so I want you to remind the people, how old are you?
So, a lot of people may think I'm lying, but I'm 22 years old.
Mhm, and
22.
and just even with you just saying, like, you had a lot going on, my next question for you is, just being that young, first of all, congratulations on all your achievements and all your
Thank you.
accolades, that's amazing, especially for your age, graduating early, being a first gen, but how has that affected you, now that you're 22 and, you had your foot in a lot of things, like, how is that affecting you mentally? I feel like you probably fell in love with I don't wanna say fell in love with it, but you probably admired the rat race because, you wanted to become an independent person and take care of yourself and get everything that you want for yourself, but how has that impacted you mentally? Did you feel like you missed out on anything?
I don't wanna say I feel like I missed out. Mentally, I feel like it definitely had me in a feeling where it was like I always had to be doing something I didn't know because mentally, a lot of people I developed severe anxiety. Like, it was to a point where I began therapy, and I was in therapy for maybe all of 2 years, and it had me really realize, like, that consistently going and not taking that step back time for yourself, like, it could affect you mentally.
Mhm,
And they always say, like, thinking of the future brings anxiety, thinking of the past brings depression, and for me, I was a futuristic thinker because I'm all in my head, I'm thinking of where I'm trying to get to. Like,
mhm,
I don't care what I did back then, what am I trying to get to? And to a certain extent, consistently thinking about that, I developed really bad severe anxiety to the point where I was, like, always in and out of the hospital, like, a lot of stuff I don't tell nobody. I was in and out of the hospital thinking, like, "I'm finna die." Because if you experienced anxiety before, it's deeper than mental, like, it physically starts to affect you where you feel
mhm,
like you can't breathe or all these different things, so it was like, once I slowed down, I realized, like, this is a health they say stress is a silent killer, and I'm like, "I can't go out like that, like, I need to slow down."
mhm,
So that's what I started to do. So it did affect me mentally back then. And I feel like because I was on that hustle culture so bad when I was younger, now that I get older and I've slowed down, and like now typically around the age, this is where the hustle culture starts for my age group. Now I feel like in a sense it's kind of harder for me to connect with a lot of people my age now because I kind of been through that. Whereas like I ain't going back. Like
mhm.
kinda where, like, a lot of women be like that whole soft life thing, like, to me, it's deeper than that. It's, like, more so my peace.
Yeah,
And sometimes when you're in that hustle culture, like, your peace is affected greatly. You don't have time for yourself. You don't have time to sit back and think. You're just moving off impulse and just what you need to get done. You just living day to day.
mhm.
So
Yeah, and I feel like, just being somebody that's, also I was goal driven for many years. I always
mm,
made sure I tell people all the time, I worked 15 jobs. So I made sure my hand was always in something. I made sure I was learning something. I
right.
made sure that I had some type of income or some type of drive going on because I know if I remain, just in a sit still movement, I'm better off, poor, homeless, dead. That's just how my mind was. If I'm not doing nothing, then what else am I doing?
I
What
wanna
else is the
ask you,
next?
like, cause I get this question a lot, and I like to know from different point of view. We have similar upbringings, just kinda
Mhm,
like where we from and how we were raised. So my question to you is, what do you feel like was your drive for that? Like, what drove you to have that hustle in you, that culture? Cause
mhm.
it's not out there, and I think the older I get, the more I realize, like, it's some people that just don't have it.
Yeah, I feel like, and I was gonna ask you the same thing. For me, it's just not having it. You know,
That's it.
it's not having it and experiencing failure at an early age. So I grew up I didn't grow up like homeless. I had a roof over my head.
Mhm.
My upbringing was a little bit different once I got older into high school. Um, I just feel like a lot shifted for me. Like I got separated from my mom when I was in what? I think I got separated from my mom when I was going into 8th grade or going to ninth grade, so I haven't lived with my mom since then. Coming up, in high school, I went from having my own room to sleeping on the couch for the rest of high school, so it's just seeing people around me have things also, like people I'm close with. It was never jealousy, it was just like, "Damn, when was this gonna be for me?" Or, "Why am I
Mhm.
not getting this because I had this going on?" Like, I was a great kid, never really got in trouble. So just not having it and then also experiencing failure on the other side. So I knew I was great,
Right.
but I suffered challenges that were like, damn, why me? So I would have to wake up every day and still put on this mask to like, okay, I still got to be great regardless. But at the same time, internally, like, it's like, what am I doing wrong?
Mm.
You know what I mean? I'm a great person. I'm a great kid. Either I get hurt emotionally or something financially or
Right.
just spiritually, and I don't have no way of expressing it other than just showing up for myself and trying to show up for my family because who else gonna do it?
Right.
So
Right.
that's really what it is, just not having it and failure. So what about you?
I think for me, I mentioned it prior, but I never really dug into it. It was I came from my mom and my dad was never married. They was never together. So I think the drive came from seeing the one side of having it and then my predominant side, which is my mom's side, not having it.
Mhm,
So I think it put kind of like a different I ain't gonna say anger, but it put anger in me a little bit because growing up, I knew who my dad was, like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, some people don't even know who their dad was, never taught. Like, I always knew who my dad was. We would always communicate here and there, but, with my siblings on that side, I always felt like, y'all have this, and he's my dad too, so
mhm,
why I don't have it and y'all do?
mhm,
So, seeing that consistently every day, like, I mean, me and my dad, we're cool now, but just this is the story, and it's like back then, I'll never forget it was Christmas one Christmas, and everybody came in. I'm talking about my sister, my brother, like my dad, all them. They came in, Jordan down, Jordan shirt, Jordan shoes, Jordan
mhm,
socks, all matching, like family portrait ready. And here I am, like regular clothes, don't have it. I don't have the Jordans y'all got. I didn't y'all didn't you didn't get me the shirt. I will never forget that Christmas. So it was like I think stuff like that really had me like, "Oh, girl, you gotta do something," because it's just my mom. And it's just like seeing like my mom was a teen parent. Like imagine growing up with your mom. It's like I was what? In middle school, my mom was all of 25, I think, or whatever, probably younger than that. So it was like, it was a lot of like consistently like, man, like I have to do something. I have to get somewhere because if not, like who else?
mhm,
And my mom was doing the best she could. So it was just like I felt an obligation to move faster, to grow up faster, to like get on my feet faster so that way, my mom could live her life too. She had me at 15. All her 20s was being a parent.
mhm,
She never like we talk about it now, we joke so much like now is the time when my mom could do what she want to do. She could have that relationship. She could have her man come stay the night or whatever. She could go on vacation. It was like for the longest, it was like she couldn't do what she wanted to do because she was a parent. And like something I always remember is like my mom was being recruited for the Navy and she didn't go because of me. Because typically, like when your parent gets, if you're the predominant parent and you're not married, if you go in the service, the parent, the other parent, like gets custody.
yeah,
So it was just not even wanting my dad to like fully get me.
yeah,
And so she missed out on her dream on that. So I felt like I have to do something. Like
mhm,
she didn't sacrifice so much, I gotta do it.
mhm,
And so that it really put me, it was more so of a proven point. Like also like just being the black sheep of the family because my mom is not in the family. It was like always kind of like looked at like, oh, I mean, you have and have not, so we don't really like, how you gonna turn out.
mhm,
And so it was just like, okay, so I had something to prove. I did.
mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, and I mean, I kinda understand that as well too. I don't really talk about it as much, but, like, I feel like I'm not as family oriented when it comes to, being a part of my family. Like, I had this conversation probably a couple months ago, like, I feel like just because of how my upbringing is, I push a lot of memories that I had in the front of my head all the way to the back. Like, I don't remember nothing from my childhood. I don't remember,
Mm.
like, how you just had a core memory. I don't remember nothing, and somebody sent me pictures, I'm like, "I don't remember when that is."
Yeah.
But, like, just because of my upbringing, it's just like, you have to replace some memories with a whole new passion or a whole new drive, and that's what I did. Like, I don't talk to my family every week, every day, like, how your relationship is
Mhm.
with your mom, I don't have that. I don't talk to anybody in my family other than my cousin that live with me. So, my question for you is, knowing that your mom sacrificed so much, do you feel like you still in debt to her?
I feel like I always feel like that.
Mhm,
Like, I feel like I could give my mom the world and I still like, I always have to repay her.
mm,
Like, it's just a never ending feeling for me because it's like people don't know what me and her been through, like, it was like this with us. So it's
mhm.
kinda like it's like a sister, like, we in this together.
Yeah,
So if we both it's like we helping each other out, I feel like I always feel in debt with her, but it's not a debt where like, stress myself out, it's a
yeah.
debt where it's like I want to.
Mhm,
You know how you ever had that feeling where it's like, I want to, like, I
mm,
want to be able to get to a point where it's like, "Mommy, don't worry about nothing ever for the rest of your life." I
mhm.
feel like that will be the day where it's like, "I made it."
Yeah,
You know, like, I can't wait for that day.
yeah. And what does that day look like for you? Like, what is the dream? You know what I mean? I always tell people sometimes, you know, your parents have a dream for you, but what is your
Mhm.
dream for your mom?
I think my dream is for my mom is to be able to really do what she wanna do and travel. I think my mom, I don't think she travels as much as she want. I don't and my mom, she was in the corporate world ever since I was a kid. So recently she quit her job, not recently, like 3 years ago, she quit her job and became a full-time entrepreneur. I loved it. Like, I was so proud of her. I was so excited because it was like you taking that first step to doing what you wanna do, but of course, when you have a kid, when you being raised off survival, it's like, I gotta get a job, even if I don't want to. Maybe if I'm doing something I don't wanna do, I gotta provide. So I feel like when it got to that point where I kinda when I got on out on my own, which I got out on my own when I was 19, so once I started getting out on my own, I feel like that kinda relaxed her a little bit, and now she could just worry about her.
For sure.
And so now it was like, "Okay, Imma quit my job, and Imma figure it out, and Imma be okay because I don't have to worry about nobody else," you know?
Mhm,
So in that, and then as well as, like, getting my mom a permanent residence, like, having that home that she has, like, granted, yeah, we have a home that we purchased as an investment property, but
mhm,
a home that she wants. It has the closet you want, the kitchen you want, design it from scratch, and just don't have to worry about it.
mhm,
And really just her building her business. My mom loved doing nails, she loved doing what she doing, so if I could help her in that way, maybe, like, give her money and you get your own thing. She want her own salon. Maybe that's something like I could provide for her, will provide for her.
mhm.
So stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. So, what characteristics do you feel like, you know, just from your upbringing that you have? You feel me? Because I feel like, in a sense, it's something like you said in the beginning, like you were, it was like in a sense, like a anger that kind of drove you. But
Mhm.
from that emotion or from that feeling, like what do you feel like you developed like as a young adult now? Because of course you got ambition, but other than that, like emotionally, spiritually, you know, just mentally, what do you feel like you have gained just from that, you know, experience of growing up?
Forgiving, being very forgiveness. I used to be a very like hold grudges bad.
Mhm.
I feel like once you did something, that's it. You that person forever.
Yeah.
And I've talked to you about
Yeah,
that
for sure.
before.
Oh, I know. You know I know.
So I hate that it's still currently in progress right now, but,
Mhm.
like, trying to understand that people do change, but for me, it's like, I don't wanna be around to figure out if you did or not. Like, once you did that one thing, I don't wanna be around to figure out if you changed or
Yeah.
not because you already did that one thing.
Well, let me ask you this. You feel like you make mistakes?
Of course, yeah.
Alright, so no, don't jump the gun because you know that's a y'all, that's how she gets. She'll jump the gun. She won't let you finish. So if you make mistakes, not saying you make mistakes with people, but if you make a mistake, you'll wanna be forgiven, right?
True.
And you feel like you change, you know, throughout your life, you feel like you change, right?
Yes.
So why you don't see the same in other people?
And that's a good question. I have no answer for that one though. And I don't know why my brain is wired like that. That's why I feel like that was something I wanted to work on.
Yeah.
Because, we all have things about us where it's like, that's just me.
Mhm.
That was something I wanted to change, along with being patient. Like,
Yeah.
it was certain things that there was no, like, logically, it was wrong why I thought that way, but it was like, I just think like this, so I just need to change it.
You wanna
And
know why you think like that though?
why?
It's a trigger.
It is,
It's a trigger.
probably, yeah.
It's a trigger that's in your head because of what you experienced. So it's more
Mhm.
like probably, and I'm just assuming now, but probably in your life, it was more people that you expected to change or to show up.
Right,
And when they
yes.
didn't, it was more of a consistent thing like, damn, you always this, or you never do this, you never do that. And it became more of a trigger for you. Now it's like, okay, once you show me something the first time, that'll how it be forever. And I don't want it to be this would be the first and the last time that you ever do
That
that to me.
is that's so true. I think you just hit it on the nail.
Oh,
You
trust me, I
did.
know.
And the reason why I say you did is because when I was younger, my mom used to always encourage me to get in therapy because she used to always think that the way I used to always say, like, and this would come with being a strong black woman, like, you don't never wanna be like you have a problem mentally, like, oh,
Mhm.
no. But a lot of people used to tell me, like, maybe the reason why you think it operates is because maybe your dad isn't in your life. So it was like, I didn't think I had daddy issues.
Mhm,
I'm like, "Nah, man, forget it." I'm like, "I'm good," you know? Whole time, no, it was something that was affecting me, and my therapist brought it up out of me. And so when I was going through that, I'm like, "Wow, so the reason why you say it is a trigger is because back then it was consistently expecting him to change and
mhm,
just be more of like a father that I would want, reach out to me more, like,
mhm,
ask if I needed help with anything." And it took so long and it was nothing.
mhm,
Just for then, he did end up coming around and changing, and now
mhm,
it's that. So that kinda helped me kinda change my viewpoint, like, it was 18 years. I mean, come on, like, people gotta be real with me. I've been through this for 18 years, and there was no change.
mhm,
Then on the 19th year, it was a change. So it was kinda like, "Okay, maybe people can change," you know?
mhm.
So that's kinda why I realized, okay, it is a issue.
Yeah,
And I do need to kinda just understand that and just give people that grace. That's another thing, grace and patience. I feel like we grown, people know what they're doing. But however, I also realized when I became more spiritual is that people were raised different. So just because you think a certain way somehow don't mean it, and they genuinely didn't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, they genuinely probably don't know. Just small things like when I walk in the house off rip, like being raised, back home, well, here is home, but, like, back home, like, it's like, you better not walk in nobody's house and not speak, like,
mhm,
but, like, I had a friend, like, we kinda fell out about that because it's like, now my people look at you disrespectful, like, don't walk in a family function, nothing, you don't speak to nobody, but
mhm.
you weren't raised like that, maybe of a different kinda descent, you was not raised like that, so it was just trying to understand people.
Yeah, and I feel like, my next question for you is just based off everything that we already discussed so far. I'm gonna ask you a real tough question. I feel like, this question, it may be a little tricky, but, based off your experiences and how you grow up, mind you, like, we still getting to know each other. I know a little bit more than others do, but my question is, do you feel like you experienced with your mom in a sense a soft upbringing, or do you feel like it was more of a survival upbringing?
Survival for sure. Like, and not to say that I didn't receive no affection or love from my mom, but
Mhm,
I always knew my mom loved me, but I never got that. Like, when I would go to the park or, like, if little activities, like, my mom wasn't there doing it with me. It was,
mhm,
I need to find I'm the same child that grew up talking to teddy bears because that was all.
mhm.
Like, so, and I don't ever fault her for it because you had to do what you had to do. She was young too, but definitely survival. I didn't grow up with that, like, love, that soft, that, affection, which is why, like, it was hard for me as an adult to understand, like, becoming affectionate. Everything isn't hard. It's okay to, like, put your guard down, but being brought up, it was just specifically like, get your work done, go to work, get some money, bring it like, that was it. It was like a kinda robotic kinda thinking, like, so that's all I really knew, and I realized that it was an issue when I got older, and now I'm, like, pouring into my own soon to be, like, family and things like that. It's kinda like,
It's a foreshadow. So basically, the reason why I asked you that is because I wanted to see if you kind of noticed, like, just hearing yourself talk, understanding like why you are the way you are now.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think with probably with even both of us, we both have a huge checklist. Most people checklist probably like five, but ours is it tend to be 100
hello.
because it's like you got to wake up and reach these goals. Sometimes we have fun and all, but at the end of the day, the main thing is the main thing. So my next question is for you. Just for other people that it's gonna be people that's older than you and still trying to get to where you are, even though you're still young. So what's your advice to the people? It could be women or just in general, like as a young, successful person, that has been through, a kind of a uneasy upbringing. What is your advice to the people that want to be successful and want to be, somewhat in your footsteps?
Don't you let your upbringing be an excuse for why you're lacking
Mhm,
as an adult. I get it, like, your past does influence a lot of your characteristics and how you move and how you think as an adult, but that is not the end all be all.
mhm,
I can't stand that excuse. Like, "Oh, that's just all I know." Yeah, but if you want different, change it. Like, for me, all I knew, and I say it again, all I knew was being brought up with women, predominantly women, no man in the house. It was kinda like, I don't even know how to cater to a man. I didn't know.
mhm,
I didn't have the domestic traits, cooking, cleaning, like, catering to a man how you should. I didn't know. That was
mhm,
something that I had to realize, like, "Girl, if you want a man, you gotta learn how to do certain things."
mhm,
So little stuff like that. I don't let my past I feel like I take what I feel like is needed, which that strength that I got, I will never, like, dismiss that.
Mhm.
I don't care what nobody say, which is why, like, I feel like me and a certain group of men don't mesh because you can't have me completely had that advantage for my life. Like you probably wouldn't understand. Which is why, like Ruthie had mentioned in the last episode, it was very interesting for me to kind of gravitate towards men that have two-parent household a little bit because I wanted to know what that bringing upbringing from love felt like,
Yeah.
because I didn't have that. So maybe you are able to cater to me in a different type of way that maybe somebody else brought up from survival couldn't. Like, because me and the person was we get it. We know how it go. But it's like from being brought up from love, maybe they provide some type of softness and some type of safe space for me to feel vulnerable and bring my wall down.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, for sure, and, I feel like, even when, Ruthie did mention that, I feel like it's always, it's like a saying I say to myself, like, I'm more reserved, and I'm a little chill. Sometimes I can be, you know, a little bit opposite, but I always tell people, like, I need somebody that has that opposite energy boost for me because 'cause I'm more reserved, I'm laid back. I like to get my shit done, but Imma still do it as a humbly and quiet way, but on the other hand, I would like somebody in my life that's more, energetic, more, outgoing, that likes to do stuff, and because it'll bring the best out of me because me,
Right.
I'm used to survival mindset, so I don't have to do all the loud shit to survive. I know what I gotta do, and I like to survive in the most quietest way because it keeps less eyes on me.
Mhm.
So that's how my perspective is, but just speaking on that. But, I kinda wanna, like, talk about how you are now. So, like, what is the biggest lesson you learning right now?
Currently,
Currently, in today's time, right now, soon as you woke up?
hmm, the biggest lesson.
Mhm. Biggest lesson.
Honestly, if we had this like right now, I think the biggest lesson is that like life is has its turns. Like it's gonna be up and down because
Are you in a down moment right now?
I'm in a like okay, if we're in the looking at it as a hill, you know, the climb before you get to the top.
Mhm.
I'm at the top.
Okay.
I feel like, but okay, wait, let me think about that. So is going down is that bad? Like
Going down
that's
is
the
not
fun part in the roller
well,
coaster,
not
you know?
necessarily because some people like to sit at the top, but what I'm telling you is when and this was a part of my truth that I posted today. Whenever you sit at the top, you can become stagnant. So a lot of people like to sit in that top moment and not understand that it's probably another mountain that you can climb that's way higher.
Right.
So like you said, going down could be good, but what are you when you go down, what are you gonna do to get back up? Or are you gonna stay
You
down and
gotta
rest?
keep right, so,
My point
in
exactly.
that term so the reason why I asked for, how you thought about that analogy is because, like, for me, when I look at a roller coaster, when you go and you get in and you going up, to me, that's the work, that's the hard part,
Mhm.
because
It's
when
the
you go
build.
down, that's the fun, that's the woo-wee. So, for me, I'm at the top. I feel like this whole past 2 months, December, January, February, and part of February, I feel like I was just on the climb.
Mhm.
I'm at the top now where I'm ready for my we moment. And I think that's upcoming for me where it's like the moving, like I said, big thing,
Mhm.
uh, adapting, adjusting. Like I upsize or yeah, upsize. I think that's the word. And so now just kind of getting more comfortable in a new space. My commute to work is longer. Um, and kinda just getting in the back in the groove with my work. Like, I'm getting back in the groove with my work because sometimes when I have stuff going on personal, it's hard to show up as an entrepreneur to 100 your best of your ability because you're you. I'm a one-man sound. My marketing team, my customer service. I'm the actual person that's doing your service. I'm
Mhm.
everything. So I think when I have something going on personally, and it could be something small like car issues or whatever, like it does affect me how I am. And so it makes me not show up for my business as much. And I always reap the benefits every single time.
Mhm.
If I don't show up for my business, you see it in the bookings. And who wants that? You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm at the point where I'm kind of stabilizing myself enough to where it's like, and mentally too, where it's like, all right, I'm ready for the we moment. I'm getting back in the groove with clients. I'm kind of getting back in my content. Like I'm actually recording content currently today with a day in my life. Like I'm getting back in that mode. So
And what does that we moment look like?
I think the we moment is me becoming more when things are in my life are too chaotic, when I
Mhm.
got this going on this, oh shoot, I forgot about that. It becomes a point where it's like my anxiety start to build back up. So my we moment is when I'm able to know, all right, this is going on for this day, kind of building some type of structure. I
Yeah.
think becoming an entrepreneur, coming out of the workforce, one thing that I was terrible at originally was having structure.
Mhm.
I pride myself on having some type of structure now. So when I don't have it, I start to feel like back at square one.
Yeah.
Like it's too conjumbled. And that triggers my anxiety. The uncertainty of knowing what's going on or what could happen, it triggers me. So I think currently my we moment would be me kind of getting back stabilized, me getting to myself where it's like I can take a breath. My off days are the same. I know what's going on here. And then also getting back into like going out, traveling, doing what I do. Like
Yeah.
I have a trip or two coming up and I'm super excited for it. But you know, the first ending of the last year, beginning of this year, it was straight like, I'm somebody I look forward to a trip or an outing or something. So it's like if I don't have that lined up, I'm like,
What are you doing?
yeah,
Mm.
like, I'm looking crazy. So it's like I think my we moment is coming up. Summer it's getting hot. I mean, hey, like I'm a Florida girl. Like it's cold. I'm depressed. I'm wearing like big clothes every day. I'm not looking myself. Don't care about my hair done. Like it's a lot. So I think it's starting to warm back up. I'm starting to get back in that
Mhm.
mode. So
So let me ask you this, being that you're an entrepreneur, what does, structure and spontaneous look like to you? Because, I'm experiencing a little bit now since I'm starting to get into that entrepreneur groove. And I took a break from it, from promoting and then jumping back into, just actually having a business and trying to be very, very routine with it. But the thing that I've been looking at the most is that whenever you have a routine, you still have to be spontaneous. So what does that look like for you? Because you want structure, but at the same time, everybody want to do shit on the fly. So how does that
for
look like
sure.
for you?
It's a consistent battle, I'm gonna keep it real, like,
Mhm.
but I think at least having a solid foundation to work with or a solid routine to work with. So, like,
Mhm.
for me, Imma still be spontaneous, but structure as in this. Even if I don't have clients, still wake up at 9. Like,
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
not just one
R
day I'm waking up at 9.
routine.
Yeah. So having something to go with then. So and then even though I don't have no client, I still need to wake up at 9, and then I could do what I wanna do, but as long as I wake up at 9 and I put points in my head, like, "All right, if you off for today, wake up at 9, do what you gotta do, but by 6, that's editing time, so be back home and edit. I don't care what you're doing between 9 and 6, be back home to edit,
Mhm.
and schedule your post before you go to bed." Like, that's kinda I have to give myself some type of walls to work within, but still kinda keep it fun, still kinda do what I wanna do,
Mhm.
but, like so if I have an event to attend, my work need to be done. If I know 9 a.m. I need to wake up before 9. I don't care what time the event is. It could be at 1, I'm up at 9.
Mhm.
So
So how do you, cause, and Imma just compare you to me. So I thrive in chaos and it's very terrible and I'm working on it. But, like you said, sometimes whenever you're emotional and have a lot going on, it affects you, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. So how do you balance the 2?
with chaos and and like, eh, I feel like I can't. I'm not gonna say can't. I feel like it's challenging. That's where I kind of get because, for example, like I noticed it last month, January. Like
Mhm.
my life was chaotic with moving and I think a lot of people don't understand. It wasn't just a regular move for me. Like I moved into a home that I own, meaning there's no maintenance. There's no. I can't just call. Hey, this broke. I have to fix everything.
Mhm.
So it was a big transition for me. So it was like all of that's going on, and then I had clients. So for me, still trying to show up no matter what, but realizing that my best is not gonna always be 100. So, for example, if I usually every day for me, I'm post every day on my business page. I schedule it. Sometimes schedule out for the week. If I didn't had a good week, oh, it's a video going up every day.
Mhm.
But when I'm going through that chaotic time, not beating myself up about not showing up as much. So
Mhm.
you doing the best you can for your season right now. So
Sure.
that was me like, shoot, if I only post once a week, at least I'll post it and I won't get mad about it. That's something I had to alter my brain to because I'm my biggest critic. So it was like, dang, Keyona, you usually posting every day. Now you feel like it's a little decline in bookings, but it's like, look, you did what you can.
Mm.
And I be talking to myself like, girl, you did what you can. You posted a video. It's some people out here ain't post on their page in months.
Mhm.
So you're good.
Yeah.
So I kinda had that it's like the devil and the angel. Like, the devil, I be like, "Girl, I did what I can." So
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I was gonna comment on, and I always tell people we are our biggest haters, like regardless of the
mhm.
fact. But I'm starting to understand, like, while I'm going through this phase, because I think what a lot of people don't understand is, just in my space in podcasting, when you're building from 0, you're gonna be at 0 for a long ass time, and I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah.
So, it'll be times, like, for instance, like you said, scheduling posts, sometimes I'll be like, "Damn, ain't nobody fuck with the last post.
Yeah,
Imma
nah,
just chill out."
mm,
You feel me? By the end of the time, I gotta show up because what I told my last guest, Miss Lewis, I said, "It only take one person. It take one post, one person, one something to take you to the next level. You just don't know who it's gonna be or when it's gonna happen." So now my days look like you said, like I'm still trying to find out the routine and the structure because I have a real job on the side. This is, I guess you can call it a side hustle, a side passion, but I got some on the side. So it's like I'm always battling between the two. But what I was gonna tell you is the most important thing is to always think of one small thing as progress. Like you said, you posted
right,
within the
right,
week. You winning because somebody ain't posting a month,
right,
somebody deactivated their page,
right.
and somebody quitting.
Yeah, yeah,
You already doing better than them.
right, that's true.
So always look forward and just being able to step forward and continue to just go regardless of how much the quantity is.
So don't
Always
stop, just keep going.
just keep going. Cause at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure I say it on here a lot. Ain't nobody else gonna do it for you. Like you gotta always be there for yourself. And I seen something the beginning of last week and it said your thoughts become your actions and your words become your actions. So the more you say like, damn, I ain't doing right, you ain't gonna do shit right.
Right, right, yeah.
So you really gotta like the tongue is powerful, just in general. That's why I always get up here and I speak as much positivity as I can because if I get up here and just talk about bullshit and how I hate this, I hate that, I want to do this, it ain't gonna never happen.
Yeah, for sure.
So my next question to you is, whoa, whoa. I know you're too busy watching the episode, but just take a moment to look at the link down below. Make sure you subscribe to the Truth Lounge. Make sure you join the Truth family. Living your truth. This is the perfect place to be, and I appreciate you for tuning in and watching the episode. Do you feel like you have, let me say, a short a short leash when it comes to things, and that's in all aspects, business, personal, and just life in general. Do you feel like you have a short leash?
As far as, like, patience-wise or just, like
People, patience, work, like how basically, and to sum it up, how you are with adjusting to things outside of your control. Mhm. That's why I started laughing. Mhm.
Imma keep it 100, like, terrible, and I know it, and it's not great, but and sometimes people could take it as I hate this word bratty. And I don't to me, it ain't bratty because you don't understand why I'm the way I am. It had nothing to do with wanting it and I want it now and I want it how I am and I'm not adjusting to nothing. No, it's when you understand the time, the work that I put in and where I come from and how I was raised, I have to have it. Like, there's no I I grew up so long hearing, like, sometimes from family, like, "You can't do this, you can't do that. Oh, you don't need to be tolerating this." So it's like it poured into me, "You're right.
Mhm.
I don't need to do this. I don't need to be dealing with this. I don't." And so I think it's battling because then when I get now that you get older and you really out here and, like, you're encountering different clients, different men, like, different friends, you start to realize, like, I mean, if everybody gotta be on this tight, short leash with you, like, it kinda makes it hard to deal with you because it's like, girl, it starts to become like, how can I put it? Like, very, like, too you know how you encounter those people where it's just like, you're just too much, like, you have
Mhm.
too many like, it's unrealistic,
Mhm.
you know? And I think that poured into, like, how I am now where it's like, I know that it's hard for me to adjust to something, especially when I already know and how I want it.
Mhm.
Because it's like, why do I deserve other? Why? If I can do it, if I can get it, why do I deserve other?
Mhm.
Why do I have to sit here and give you this long ass rope for what?
Mhm.
Like, in my head, I be saying, like, what benefit is that for me?
Mhm.
Especially as someone who if we take our friends aside, if we take men aside, you know, I love my family, so they ain't going nowhere, but, like, if we take everything outside of family aside and just me and what I wanna do, like, I'm okay. I feel like I've developed a really great, strong relationship within myself to where I'm okay, so I think in my head, I don't have to tolerate for bullshit, like,
Mhm.
I don't have to, and while that may be a great way to think, especially when you get older, it's just like, look, I ain't tolerating that. Also, too, that it sometimes contradicts with having grace because then you don't know what to give grace to. And so I think that's kind of a question I want to ask you.
That's so that was a follow-up question. So I got more points to that. It's just the reason why I asked you that is, and it came to my understanding recently. I'm the same way. My leash is very short, but we both are in a people pleasing business, and in order to be in a business like that, it has to affect you personally as well too. So aside from your business, you still have to be a people pleaser in a certain aspect. So my question is to you: you've done multiple types of adjusting. So how, as a person, do you feel like you can adjust to giving people grace? Because if you think about it in totality, you wanted grace during your upbringing. You wanted somebody, you wanted some type of love, right?
Right,
You didn't get it as much as you probably wanted to,
right.
but why do that to other people?
Why, like, not give them the grace? And we're talking, like, business
As
people around me?
aside from just business, just personally, because like you said, a lot of people have different upbringings, and
Right.
I'm asking you this because I know how you are. You know what I mean? And this is just a personal question. You know what I mean? I know how you are as
Listen.
a person. Like it's more of a like I want you to like just see it from another perspective. Just
Yeah,
open your eyes to it. You feel me? Because I'm not saying, of course, I'm not saying drop your boundaries. But it's a lot of situations that, maybe in the future or that you probably had in the past to where it's like, I know how you are. You probably cut a lot of shit dead before the root even grew.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I
It's
want you
like,
to, it's like,
as think of it from my POV, if that's all I knew, if it's kinda a thing where it's like, if I didn't get no grace and I didn't got to a point where it's like, "Man, forget all y'all, like, I'm
hmm
good," why would I think anybody else deserve it? Y'all don't understand what I done went through, like, so
so,
y'all deserve the same thing,
so,
even though that ain't right. It's
no,
not right.
I was finna say, so what about homeless people?
Y'all had to like, this how I am, like, this how I know it that what you're saying is correct because I'm the type of person. Don't get me wrong. I give when needed. Like,
hmm
I give whoever, but I don't give homeless people money. And this is why I feel like we all have the same 24 hours in a day, right? And I feel like we actually, if we're being honest, me and my mom always say this. You either have to be poor in this world or you have to be rich. Middle class don't get a lot of resources that poor people do. So for poor, if you don't have nothing, there's too many resources that I wouldn't even qualify for. And sometimes I'll be right here like, child, what? I ain't got this X, Y, and Z. So I feel like for people like that, you have those resources. You just don't want to take advantage of them because it requires you to become a new person or somebody new that you're not ready for. So why do I give you grace? I didn't have to kill so many ex versions of myself and still currently killing with some. So why should I give you grace? You're not willing to do the work. And so I think for me, that's kind of why I think the way I think. And it's like talking to different people, I realize that about myself. And it's something that I don't like because it's like, just because you was like a certain way, it's kind of like being stuck in my way with that. Like, you ever talk to somebody older and it is what it is. Like, this was how I was raised, so this how I am.
hmm
Like with my grandma, like my grandma was big on the whole like boy or tattoos, piercings before 21. I mean, after 21. Like nowadays, like people, it's young girls right here getting belly piercing at 15 years old.
hmm
So it's like, but that's how she is still currently. Like
hmm
I was 18 years old in college, during about to be out the house, and my grandma like, no. And I'm like, girl, like, so that's kind of how I am when it came down to the grace thing. And it's like, right, like, ain't nobody giving no grace, so I ain't giving nobody nothing. Like, why?
But see, you said something though. You said you don't like that about
I
yourself. So
don't.
why you don't change that about yourself?
I feel like I feel like the first step to change is being aware of it, self-aware.
No, it's accepting it. It's you
Okay.
you are listen. This I told you what this is gonna be like. We got plenty of time left on the clock. This is what this was gonna be like, and I this is just one thing because I can go on and on.
Yeah,
You feel me? But it's accepting it. That's the first step. And the only reason I'm telling you this is because you still young.
right,
You feel me? Like I told you, I had the same minds that you had because I was in the same position you were in. Nobody gave me shit. Nobody gave me
right,
no
yeah,
type of, thing to where it's like, okay, when you get older, you gotta give back the love you never got. And I didn't understand it for years until now.
mhm,
You have to contribute back into society one way or the other. The only reason I'm telling you that, grace should be basically like a person in your life, you always carry it. It may be a small person, maybe a big person. And whatever you have inside of you, you can give it to whoever. It's up to you. But only reason I say that is because, like you said earlier, people don't know what you've been through. You don't know what they've been through.
right.
But I'm gonna ask you this: have you ever took the time out to understand what people been through, to understand what they've been like. I can tell you right now, no.
No, cause ain't
But
nobody try to see why why
why be like that? If
right,
no
I get
if
it.
my point is exactly, but if nobody never did it for you, why are you doing the same thing to them?
Because it's like that in my head just be like, "That's just the world we live in." Like, but I'm not saying it's right. I understand, but it's like kinda a thing where it's like unspoken in my head. It's like I'm worried about me. So if y'all wasn't worried about wasn't nobody giving me grace, wasn't nobody on my like in my ear, in my whole keep going, wasn't nobody none of that. So it's like in my head, like I don't have to give you grace. Like nobody gave me that. So that's why I didn't know what grace was. Like
Mhm,
that's why like I tell you like one thing that I have worked on was giving people I have like between look, just 4 months ago and now, I feel like I done got better,
mhm,
and I feel like what helped me change is actually dealing with people, friends, relationships, like, dealing with people, I notice myself, even with friends, like, it's certain things that my friends will do or say, and I'll be like, "You're going." But in my head, I'm like, "Maybe they didn't know Keyona." So instead of doing that, instead of disappearing, talk to them about it. Tell them how you feel. Let's have this
mhm,
conversation. So that's something like, that's big for me. Like, big even when I'm dating, like, I didn't notice it's been a real big thing where it's like, okay, like, I'll have to take a step back, and if I'm triggered, I have to take a ooh, I'm I'm telling you, it was I have to take a step back,
mhm,
and I have to be like, "Think about it. Calm down. He probably didn't know." And I'll come back, and we'll discuss it, and it'll be like, "Okay, cool."
mhm,
So, I think for me, I never knew what grace was. It was nothing ever. I didn't know what patience was, grace was. I was raised by Black women that didn't even have like it was like, "Look, child, get out my face. What are you talking about?" You know? So it's like now I get older, it's like, okay, now I know this grace word. Now I know this patience word. Now I know, okay, what is it? Let me start implementing it little by little. And I feel like the people I talk to and encounter, they help me with it. Because like right now, you even bringing that up with me, like now that's waking things up in me that's saying, you know what? Start being like, first off, is accepting it. I think right now, today, I can accept saying that I was not graceful. I didn't give
mhm,
grace. And so now that's waking it up into me. So now if I come across another situation, I'm being tested. Now I understand, all right, Keyona, like calm down. But this is a question that I have for you when it comes down to the grace thing. And this is just me like trying to understand people's point of view. If what's the difference? Because there's a thin line between giving grace and then not allowing people to go over your boundaries, and I think that's something I have an issue with balancing.
yeah.
What is that?
What are you losing?
With what? Like what?
Just in general, what are you losing? The ba
My
ba
time, my energy.
Okay, and you lose time every day. Let me explain this to you. It took me a while to learn this shit, right?
Right.
We all have 24 hours in a day. Let me ask you this: how much time do you spend on your phone bullshitting?
A lot.
Right? You lost time, right?
Mhm.
Did you gain any money?
Nope.
Did you gain any knowledge, resources? Did you gain anything that made you a better person by you being on your phone, other than you seeing other people and encountering with other people? Did you gain anything?
Situational, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Right? What are you? A lot of people say, "Oh, I'm losing time. I'm losing money." It's the same shit every single day. We lose that time. It's about how you implement it. The thin line between grace and boundaries. Boundaries. If you cross my boundaries, I'm losing something.
What
I'm
are you
losing.
losing if somebody cross your boundary?
If I'm losing peace. I'm losing my. If I tell people all the time, if you affect my mental is the complete. It's the king of everything in my life.
Right.
If I'm not mentally straight, I'm losing money. I'm losing health.
Right.
I'm losing a lot of different things. So once you come into my world and you're affecting me mentally, you gotta go. It's the same thing. Like, okay, say if you meet a guy or you have friends and they just always fucking I hate negative Nancy's. And me being in this type of environment where I have to speak positivity, I come across it a lot because people come to me for advice. And people get stuck in their own ways. They
Right.
don't want to get better, like you said before. Like same thing with some homeless people. Some people don't want to get better because they know it has to be a new version. It's some people in the middle class or that are wealthy that are the same way.
Right.
And we deal with them all the time. We give them grace, you know what I mean? But my thing is the thin line between the two is what am I losing? I can give you grace back to back, you know what I mean, if it's not affecting me. Like, for instance, somebody constantly apologizing for reaching out and, bothering me while I'm doing something. I'm not losing nothing. Or say for instance, somebody reach out and they need a loan or something like that. I'm losing money, but am I really losing something to where like I know I won't ever get it back? Now, if somebody come to me, for instance, somebody come to me ask for $1,000, I'm losing a lot.
Right.
That's a boundary. What do you need this $1,000 for? Now, if it's something like $100, I'm not really losing them because I go spend $100 on food real quick. I go spend it on bullshit real quick. So you got to understand, what are you really losing? You feel me? Sometimes people make mistakes, genuine mistakes. They may have said something that's the wrong way, but when people say something to you the wrong way, it'll trigger you, and you'll feel like, all right, you playing with me now.
Right.
But what are you really losing by them saying that to you?
I think for me, well, I get it, and that's true. I don't know. I think the reason how I was thinking prior was just I'd rather pick my time on what I lose or what I lose my time on. So like how you compared it to the scrolling phone thing versus human versus somebody. I feel like I wanted to have control over how am I losing my time. So if you irritate me, it's like, all right, I could waste my time somewhere else. Like I can do something else. I can sit here and scroll on TikTok, eat my sunflower seeds, and be cool for the night. And that's wasting my time. But I feel like it's a different type of patience you have to have, especially dealing with human, because it's a lot that you have to input. You have to think, okay, it's the conversations. Like that's why I don't even do conflict because it's too much I have to put into it. And I just feel like if you wasn't here, none of this would happen. And like I say, like it gets to a point where it's like building relationships and connections. You do have to have that,
Mhm.
which is the older I get, I realize it. Even just not even the older, the different rooms I be in. I go to these entrepreneur events all the time. I go to this, I go to that. I do all these different things, and I encounter so much people to where I have developed a lot of different connections over the year, and it has really put me to a test. Not negatively, just in general, like with not people just not knowing, like, I'm typically off in my own bubble, like, I do what I do, hang out with my friends, and then I go home, and that's me. So, sometimes, like, building these new connections, it was a lot for me to have to try to understand and try and communicate. It was testing my communication. It was testing me giving grace, like, reaching out. It was testing a lot of skills in me. And so, I just feel like at this point now, like, I understand and I realize, like, okay, the more I talk to, because you gotta understand too, growing up predominantly the only child, I had both. I had my dad with kids, and then my mom, I was the only child with her. So it's like growing up, it was a lot of stuff I didn't have to deal with because it was just me. So it was like I didn't have to deal with talking to people. I didn't have to deal with giving nobody else grace because I didn't have it. So it was like, no, like even when we was younger, we got my grandma telling me stories all the time where it was like me and my brother almost squared up because you ate something that was mine, or you did something to me. It's like that's what a sibling is. Heck no, I ain't come from that. I come from if I left it in the refrigerator Mondays, Friday is there.
Yes.
Like it's having that interaction. I didn't grow up having that interaction until and up and through school still. Like with school, it's like I go to school, get my work done. Like even when I was going to Oak Ridge, a lot of people didn't even know I went to Oak Ridge because why I was at school and I went home. And 9 times out of 10, I was barely at school. So it was just like I never really had that direct interaction until I got in my business. I really got serious with it and progressing as a woman, and I realized, like, I have to have these connections, which result in me developing some type of skill or polishing up on some skills.
Mhm. But
And that's the
but that
greatest thing,
but
it's true.
but that's what I'm saying. So like, okay, now that you have your own understanding for grace, how would you define it?
But with grace,
What's grace for you? Because like you said, well, I don't know how true it is going forward now, but you don't want to extend grace out to certain people. So what is your definition of grace?
I think my definition of grace is really just I feel like it's allowing people having a certain type of patience with them to where you allow them to have that room to come in and potentially possibly do it again. Because in my eyes, grace don't guarantee that they won't do it again. That's why it was hard for me to give it because off rip and a lot of like when you was like the boundary thing. Like sometimes my if you do something and I give you grace, it could even trigger me a little bit to where even if it didn't affect my peace initially, I could say if you continuously, it would. But I don't even want to be around to figure out if you would do it. So that's kind of where my whole like not giving it thing. I'm somebody I don't want to figure out again. If you do something one time, I don't want to figure out if you changed or if you didn't do it again. Because I just feel like J. Cole say, fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, I can't put the blame on you. So you fooled me once. So I ain't finna let you do it a second time. That's how I thought. Because it's just like, why am I allowing you to potentially do the same thing again?
Mhm.
Why?
But
Why?
in a sense, don't you feel like you could miss potential lessons and blessings in that though?
And if it's and then here's where the spirituality comes is if it's a lesson, it'll come back and it ain't nothing I can do about it.
And that's what that was gonna be my follow up thing too, is just understanding that just because you block it from
Oh,
happening
yeah, it
doesn't
don't
mean
mean it
that
won't happen again, for sure,
my point.
but it's like, a worldly and living in my flesh, it ain't happening on my watch, but sometimes God laugh and he be like, "Ha, let me show you this," and he'll bring it right back around, and then it's like, now I'm forced to go through it again.
Mhm,
But as long as it's on my watch, which is never really technically on my watch, but if I think I got control, oh, you gone.
mhm,
But then it's funny because sometimes I never do have control, and God will spin back around. That's why I'm big on, like, I could fall out with somebody now, like, I have a friend that me and her, recently we kinda, like, stopped talking, and it was just kinda thing, it was like, "Okay, cool, like, whatever, we're done talking." She we both circled back around, we reconnected. I didn't expect for that connection to happen again. Even though there was no beef, it was just a thing where it was just like, "You know what? We kinda two different, like, pages right
wavelength.
now." So, I'm never opposed to that's why too, like, I'm somebody I say forgive and go hand in hand with that because it's like I can't say I forgave my dad. I forgive people. I forgave friends. So I can't say that I'm opposed to it because you never know what God's plan was. I could sit here and say, you know what, you X'd out from my life. I never do this with you ever again. And I say that. I always be like, I mean, if God's willing it to happen, I can't never say what'll happen and what won't.
Mhm.
I don't know. Cause then too, I feel like that's part of contradicting myself. Cause then I'd be like, dang, I did say I ain't gonna never do that. Now you embarrassed to do it again. Or now you don't want to show it off, or now you don't want to do whatever because you sat here and said it ain't gonna happen.
Grace and forgiveness go hand in hand.
They do.
That's what I'm trying to get you to, like, look at, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like, you know, it's always a mental battle because like you said earlier, like, your anxiety kick in when you don't know uncertainty, like, or when things are uncertain and you don't know what's gonna happen, right? And from what it sounds like, it's like, in a sense, you kinda like ownership. You like owning what your future's gonna look like, you like owning what, actions are gonna take place
Right.
in the future. Whole time, you don't know.
Right.
You you don't know what's gonna happen, you don't know what's next, and it's a scary line, between love and hate because you can love how your future is looking, but you can hate what it becomes.
Mhm.
So, you just gotta take it a day at a time. Like, I think throughout my life, like, and I don't know if I said this on the last episode with all y'all. I think with me, like, I used to always just hate, like, hate, hate, hate. It could just be what's next. Like, I used to people think people hated on me, but now I'm more comfortable and it's like, if something play out, I just look at the lesson I learned from it. Cause there's a lot of people that's gonna do dirt to me
Right,
regardless.
right.
I'm young as hell. It's only gonna get worse or it's gonna get better. Either or, I'm not too much tripping on it. I learned to give people grace because at the end of the day, if they don't do it, somebody will. And I'd rather learn it now versus me learning it and experience it for the first time in the future. That's just how my mind works.
Mhm.
But when it comes with grace is a funny thing because grace, you can subtract access. I can forgive you and I can give you the grace, but you won't
Right.
have that same access to me. So that's what I'm trying to get you to look at. Just because you give them grace don't mean they all good. Like, you
But I
can
feel like
forgive.
but all grace, you don't that would subtract the access because if you give grace then and you just be like, "Okay, whatever," then they may think that they have that still
That's
access. So that's if you decide to cut it off
yeah.
or whatever. But in my eyes, no, I forgive you. To me, forgiveness does not guarantee that access. I
Mm,
forgive people that I no longer talk to. It's just like I'm cool on it. I'm good.
yeah.
I don't know, but to me, I registered grace with still having access, and that's why I was kind of like, nah,
Yeah, but
nah.
like you just said, that's them thinking. But okay, if they think that, so fucking what? It's a lot of people that
Don't even think.
it's a lot of people that think they have you. And the whole time they ain't it's like one of them, like, for instance, just in your world, some dudes be like, "Damn, she responded to me like I got her in the bag." No, you don't. And just because he think that, oh fucking well, like, that's what they think. And people gonna think what they wanna think
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, but it's not reality.
Yeah.
That's not up for you to control what they thinking. Oh fucking well, like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
Right. Yeah.
some people probably think they in good graces with me. No, you not. I could just tolerate you. I forgave you, but you don't have that access to be in good grace with me. I give it to you, but you don't have that. So a lot like I can count. Oh man, I ain't even finna get into that.
I'm
But
sorry.
it's just I want you to work on that.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
want you to work on that because what the people don't know is, and I can speak on a little bit, we done butted heads before,
yeah, we have.
and look at us now in the same room talking.
But that's because because I forgave you. I didn't there was
But
no
but my point, but
grace.
what did I do to you for you to forgive me? I ain't put no money in your pocket. I ain't
Right.
teach you nothing. The same way you can forgive me without receiving anything or without knowing anything, what's next, you can do that to the next person. Just like you said, your friend came around the corner. and that's because God put that in front of you. But what if you would have forgave that person that actually you don't know what y'all could have collaborated on or did
Right,
that
but
could have
which is
been.
why I always that's why I mentioned too, saying, like, I'm not even the type of person even if because after whatever like, if I forgive you, like, okay, cool. After that, it was like, I didn't I so that's why I say I don't know if I gave grace because well, I didn't because it was like, whatever, but then that's why I say I don't speak on, like, what may happen because I forgive you, meaning I'm not mad no more, I don't
Mhm,
care. But that's why it was when you like, when we decided to communicate and, like, try to understand what went wrong, it was just like, "Okay, cool," like, I am gonna allow that again, which is why I say sometimes God will spin somebody back around or connect you with somebody again when in your head, that was that. But that's situational, and it's very case by case, like, we're being honest.
And one question I do want to ask you, we almost at the end, but I want to ask you this: do you feel like because of your upbringing, it makes it harder for you to change some traits that you have?
Harder, but not impossible, yeah.
And what do you mean by not impossible? Do you feel like it'll take a do you feel like it would take longer to adjust to, or is it depending on what it is?
So I wanna to answer this question properly, I wanted to know in what case are we talking friends, business, or
Just
relationship?
just emotionally and just mentally. So
Because
like,
the reason why I asked is because there's different I adapt differently for different situations. So if we're talking in relationship, aspect, how the reason why I say is could be challenging but not impossible is because I'm a true believer in I may be a certain way, but the right man will make me want to change. Like, forget how I was, forget what mama told me.
mhm,
What do you need me to be like? What
mhm,
kind of woman you want me to be? So it's not impossible, but it's hard because then if a man that ain't the right one for me come around, it's like, you said you like this, but I don't really know.
mhm,
So I think it just depends on the right person. Now, as far as like when it comes down to business wise, it's all in if you want to progress. If you notice that something is not working out, or if you notice that there's an issue and there's consistently an issue, like with me, communication was a big thing. Big. I was not good with communication back then. Growing up the only child, who did I have to communicate with? Nobody.
mhm,
So it affected my business originally. I wasn't texting back. I was one of those last I hate to say it. I was one of those last texts where it was like, I DM'd her asking her blah, 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 and she didn't respond. Sorry, like, like, so it was affecting my business originally. So what I
mhm,
did changed it. So it just depends on how bad and what it is affecting and how bad you want it. But in that case, especially with relationship, it all depends on how the man, I feel like he'll bring something out. I've realized that just with my history of dating, I realized certain guys will bring certain things out of you never thought you had.
mhm. So when you just said something, and I want to speak on it real quick. So you said if it's affecting you, you would change it. But what if it's not affecting you? What if you know you need to change something, but it's not affecting your day to day life? Will you still work on changing it, or would you wait until it's affecting you?
Um, I feel like how would you know it's not how do you know what would be something that it wouldn't affect you some at some point? Because it don't have to affect me day to day for me to change.
Mhm,
It just needs to be something like I'm a woman that's consistently trying to get better every day. So it could be something I know about myself that probably don't only encounter when I meet a new friend or whatever.
mhm,
Like people tend to say like my some friends, I'm a very low maintenance friend. Like we ain't gotta talk every day. But
mhm.
then I meet some people where it's like they are kind of like what like to communicate
Yeah.
consistent. So now that's triggering my communication skills. So and that happens case by case. So do I know that that's something I need to work on? Of course. But so I think it just depends on like how like, if you want to, do you wanna become a better person overall? I don't need for something to be in my face every day to be like, "You need to change that." No. If I know it about myself, it need to be worked on.
Okay.
I don't
Cool.
care if it happened one time. If somebody said I'm so self-reflective. Somebody could tell me something about myself one time, and I'd be like, "Hmm, like, let me think let me dive into that." See, and I get to ask I even ask my mom, I be like, "Do you think I'm such and such?" And I don't keep it real. She'll be like, "Yeah." Or she'll be like, "No, I don't really see that." But and then if my mom can't tell me, I ask a homegirl or something. My best
Mhm.
friend keep it real. My
For
best
sure.
friend the one who like, how I know what you're saying, my best friend has told me, she said, you real like, you don't allow no grace." I been knew that.
Mhm,
My mom told me that.
mm,
My mom said she would hate well, mom said she would hate she was like, "I couldn't deal with you." She hate like, she know how I am. She always would say, "I would hate to deal with you." She was like, "You don't allow no type of wiggle room."
mhm,
Like,
yeah,
I've heard it before, I have. So it definitely will be worked on.
okay, we'll see. Hey, We'll see. I talk to her every now and then, so we'll see, man.
I'm
We'll
screaming.
see. I don't know. We'll see.
You know.
But well, you know how I am with the end, so I'm just get straight to it. What's three truths that you got for the people, man? Three truths, three lessons. Be real. Be real, because you have a lot of. She may not act like it, but she has a lot of opinion on people in society. So you need to speak up now. This is the opportunity.
Um, be authentic. Like, be you. I can't stand to see people that try to change or alter themselves to try to fit in or try to be somebody. I see it a lot nowadays, just even with people that I know is not them. Like, just be you. And I feel like you will attract people that like you for you. Second is mind your business. Like, in a way where it's like, I get it. Social media is a thing. We on there, we look, but I feel like if you genuinely mind your business, you will understand. I feel like the more attention and energy you put into somebody else and what they got going on, put it in your business. Worried about what she did, what he did, how she looking on here and what she don't look like. Like, I feel like people should really mind their business because I feel like the energy and everything takes energy. So the more energy that you put into other things that is not gonna put no money in your pockets, make you a better person, or help build you in any type of way, I feel like it should be put into you. And also, things only have power if you let it.
Mhm.
So with that being said, if you feed something power, if you feed something fuel, it will make the flames go even bigger. So it's just like realizing that people only have the power that you allow them would change your response to things, your viewpoints on things. And it's so funny because we was just DMing about that, where I was like, I'm irritated because everybody was just irritating me that day.
Mhm.
But I realized, why am I letting everybody got this power of me? As soon as you text me that, I ain't even respond back because, I was like, you know what? You're right. It ain't, let me delete the note because everybody don't should not have me irritated. But I think for me, once in a blue moon get like that. For the most part, I'm typically like a really good person. Like
Mhm.
my energy be the same. I'm always got a joke for you. I'm always whatever. But I think I do get to a point where I let a lot build up at once, and then I be mad at the world, and I shouldn't give it that power. But that's something that I know about myself, so I should give it to y'all.
Yeah. She's a great person, y'all. I promise you, she is. Like, I give her flowers all the time. Every single time I can, I give her flowers. She does a lot. She handles a lot, juggles a lot. She's a great person. But one more question I wanna ask you, and then you can go ahead and, shout out all your platforms, and I mean all of them, because she only mentioned that she do lashes, but she does have a fragrance line. I don't know why she be
Oh
concealing
yeah,
all this stuff, but, yeah, and she do a whole lot of other things,
yeah.
so please just tell people everything, but, um, just in one sentence, what is a piece of advice you would tell the younger you that was going through all that, just wanting love, grace, and everything like that? What is one sentence that you would tell your younger self?
I would tell myself, "You're doing amazing, keep going." I would. That's all I needed to hear back then.
Mhm, for sure. So go ahead, tell the people where they can find you at. All of them, all that you need to do a Pilates instructor page.
I know I need
Yeah.
some type of page. So y'all, to make it real fast because we're running out of time. Yes, me and my homegirls, we hosted our very first Pilates event, Pink Pilates and Prosecco in Orlando. It went crazy. Everybody's doing their own separate thing, but I am coming out with something soon, so be on the lookout. Keyona Malia is my page. That's my TikTok. Pretty much, if you want to find me, Keyona Malia is my name on everything. I do have a perfume and fragrance line, and we're actually going to be set up at a pop-up shop March 7th at the Wellness Sisterhood, which is a burn fit camp. So I'm excited about that. The name on that is kimaje.co on Instagram and TikTok. And then, of course, you guys have my lash page, which is Elegant Eyes LLC, and that's on TikTok and Instagram as well.
All right, y'all heard it first, man. I'll be trying to get her to do all these extra things, trying to motivate her and
Right.
do all this stuff, man. She's a comedian on the side too. She need a comedian
No,
page.
that's you.
That's if y'all want to hear her jokes, just go to her Twitter. She'll talk about
Oh, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah, yeah.
appreciate you for popping out. It's a long time coming. Damn, what it says, 3 she's done been on 3 episodes now. I don't know if it'll be a part 2, who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
It's a lot
depending
of
on how y'all do with this one, so that's why y'all need to run it up, and like I said, if y'all ain't seen the first 2, then stop, go do that first, and then come to this one, and then if y'all like this one, then we could see about a part 2, but y'all need to go for the first ones.
Yeah, we'll see. It's gonna get there. Ain't no probably ain't no nothing, but we'll see. Part 2, maybe, but
I'm
yeah,
screaming.
y'all know how I am with the outro. Gone.
Bye.